So, yan. So, let's start. So, what exactly is a function in Matlab? So, in Matlab, function is one way of storing sets of procedures in one variable. So, like, parang yung katulad lang yan ng mga na-encounter natin ng mga commands in Matlab before. For instance, linspace. So, linspace is one function with sets of instructions stored in it. So, that is a function. So, next we also have, what else do we have? We have maximum. Max is also a function with commands or set of commands stored in it. So, that being said, no, since ginawa yan lahat ng Matlab, they are predefined when Matlab is installed. Even in Octave, I guess. You know? So, all of them are predefined. So, you might ask, baka pwede naman tayong gumawa ng sarili nating functions. So, good for us. So, the good news is, yes, we can. We can create functions of our own. Yung mga functions kasi nung ating linspace and then yung max, they are stored somewhere in the directories of Matlab. So, if you are lucky to know the location if you are lucky enough to locate the location of these files, so you will see how this command works. So, yung linspace, yung max, yung lahat ng nandoon sa Matlab na predefined. Okay? So, what really is the syntax of functions? So, functions is given by, function. So, pag gagawa tayo ng sarili nating function, we have to type in the first line function, and then we write the output variable. So, output variable. So, maybe I could just type this as text para mas madali. Okay, so function, and then output variable. Okay, output variable equals, and then ilagay natin yung ating function name. So, function name together with the arguments. So, argument. So, yan yung ating syntax for function. So, whenever we declare a function, we should store it in a variable first. So, say for example, I am trying to solving y as a function of time, and therefore our output variables should be our output variable should be in y. So, sabihin natin y underscore 15 if we are trying to solve for y as a function of time at 15 degrees. So here, we have output variable, and then yung function name. So, ito yung tatawagin natin siya dun sa ating command space. So, in the case of linspace, ito yung pangalan niya. Nandito nakalagay. So, linspace yung nakalagay dyan, and then arguments. So, kung ano man yung mga variables na kailangan mong hingiin in order for the function to work perfectly. So, say for instance, so gawa tayo ng example. So, using y is equal to y of 0 plus v0 yt, v0 yt minus 1/2 gt squared. Right? So, I can now put this all in my function, and the function turns into, so here, lagay ako dito ng isa. So, it becomes function, and ano ba yung variable na gusto kong tawagin siya? So meaning, pag na-execute na yung lahat ng computations, which is y0, v0y, yung nasa right side ng ating equation, so saan natin siya i-store? So, remember that. So, in this case, y. So, function of y is equal to, So, anong itatawag natin sa function na yan? Whenever it is called, ano ba yung palayaw niya? So, pwede natin sigurong tawaging trajectory y. So, since this is a trajectory motion, so trajectory ny. So, trajectory y. So, pwedeng ganyan. And then, what are the variables that we need in order for this to work? So, let's assume for now, or for simplicity, that we don't need y0 for now. Okay, so ang kailangan lang natin therefore would be v0. No? And then we need alpha, of course. Alpha. And then we need time. Now, if of course you want to add g, of course, kung gusto mong dagdagan ng g and you want to make it more dynamic na hindi lang siya gumagana for Earth, you can also include g in here. So, there you have it. For Octave Online, so yung mga gumagamit pa ng Octave Online, luckily for you, in order to define a function, so you can just you can follow the first line, itong part na to, yung function y equals y trajectory, but at the end, you have to type end function. Okay. So that is to indicate Octave that you are now creating a new function. Kasi pag enter ka lang ng enter, ina-assume niya na you are still creating the function. Pag nilagyan mo ng end function, hanggang dun lang yung kanyang execution. So let's try that in Octave. In Matlab, sorry. Okay. So what we have learned here. So, if we're going to try yung nandun sa ating module, yung ating demo, okay, we can try to do that. So, where is it? So in here, if I try to type first, so sa mga Matlab to, Matlab users, so you go to Home tab, and then under the New button, you go to Function. Okay, so it will take a moment to create. So ayan, nandyan na yung editor natin. So function is unknown. So hindi pa to kailangan. Ang ilalagay lang natin is script demo. So script demo. Okay, don't worry about the output variables and the arguments for now. And then ang ginagamit kasi, or by default kasi, pag tinawag mo yung script demo na yan, if you type script demo, if you type it in the command window, it pops up. Right? So, let's see. Yeah, so this is optional. Pag may bracket, optional yan. Okay, so that is, ayan. This is script demo. By the way, all of the files here are saved as .m. Okay, so whether it be in the command window or be it in the editor window. Okay, so let's try to perform that. So let's just try to declare variables for now. So g is equal to 9.8. Then I have here v0 is equal to 5 meters per second, followed by t is equal to 12 seconds. And then, what else? Do we have an angle? Yeah, we have an angle of alpha, which is equal to 45 for maximum. Okay, we have VT 12. Alright, so we're good. So, ayan. Maybe I could put here lens space para hindi hassle. So lens space from 0 to 12. So 100 entries from there. And then what else? So now, I can now declare my formula. So y is equal to, y of 0 is cancelled. So I have v0 multiplied by the sine d of alpha. So alpha natin is 45. And then multiplied by t. Okay. Minus. So pwede ko nang rektahin na 0.5 times gt. So g times t squared. So since this is element-wise, since this is a 1 by 100 matrix yung ating t, so I need to put dot and then caret 2. Okay, so press that. So let's try to see if this will work just fine. So punta tayo dito sa ating, so maybe I could save this. So it will ask you where to save the file. So this is for Matlab only, ha. Okay, so tatanungin niya kung saan mo isi-save yung ating file. So take note that it should be saved in the documents folder where there is a Matlab folder. So save natin dyan. Save. In order for the function to work. So now let's type script demo. And as you can see, so if I try to declare y, okay, so bakit undefined? Yes. So hindi natin dineclare yung ating y's. So the details are as follows. Okay, so dapat pala i-declare ko yung ating y. So output natin is y. And then script demo. So kailangan pa rin natin ng output. No, ganyan lang siya. Okay na yan. Okay. So like so. Oh yeah, because I suppressed it. Okay. Okay, so sinuppress pala kaya natin. Okay, so balik natin doon. So I type again script demo. And as you can see, pinakita niya yung answers from 0 hanggang dun sa ating time 12. So that is your answer for y. Okay, notice that the variable, kanina yung sample ko kanina, nung pag-execute ko nung ating script, and then sabi ko parang walang lumabas na answer. Maybe I could try to declare y. Pero sabi daw is the function becomes undefined. So it is a good thing to note that whenever we are using the function, see to it that alam natin kung ano yung gusto natin na output na i-produce ng ating script. So, in this case, na-suppress ko siya kaya hindi siya lumabas. Kaya, after the code has been executed, take note, when the code is executed now, hindi niya sinisave yan sa workspace. Dinidiscard niya agad yan. So, that is a good thing to note. Okay? So, any questions, guys, so far? Malinaw naman. Okay, so kung malinaw, let's proceed to let's keep moving. So, sana ba tayo? Okay, so sir, how about pwede naman siguro na palitan yung, so yung sabi mo nga kanina, baka pwede naman nating palitan. So, no worries. Pwede rin naman natin yung palitan. Ang gagawin lang natin is we have to just follow the same concept that we have here doon sa ating board. We just have to set an output variable and then give it some name to be called in the command space, and then the variables that we need for it to be fully functional. So, ito yung mga kailangan natin na variables. So, no worries. So, balik tayo dun sa Matlab. And let's use that. So, ang output natin becomes y. Y equals script demo. Then, what are the variables that we need? We have g. So, I need t as well. I need v0. And I need alpha. And this time, let's try to put y0. Okay, y0. Okay, for fun. Okay, let's delete this. Pero I'm going to keep y. Okay, going to keep y. Pero lalagyan ko na ng y0 in here and then a plus. Okay. So that is my entire function. And then, pwede ko itong lagyan ng parang title or help comment. So let's say, for example, this is, or pwede ko itong palitan. Palitan natin ng pangalan. Gawin kong, script demo na lang siguro. Okay, so, free fall, or to the position of a trajectory. Okay, so free fall or 2D position of a trajectory, and then lagay natin dito yung mga details kung ano yung dapat nilang malaman. Okay, so what are we doing? What exactly are we doing dito sa parang may mga percent na yan? So what we're doing in here is to make sure that whenever somebody is trying to access your function, that you have the complete instructions on how to use it. So parang siya, tinatawag natin siyang help comments. So as much as possible, we have to input as many instructions as we can in order for it to be user friendly. Hindi sila nangangapa sa dilim kasi after all, di ba? Pag nag-type tayo ng help space, nandun na lahat ng instructions. So why not do it? Bakit hindi natin gawin yon? Para makakatulong din tayo dun sa iba. Okay? So here, let me try input. Ang input natin is, pwede tayo maglagay ng another, and then G for gravity. Gravitational acceleration. You can try it as well, okay? Gravitational acceleration. And then we have T for time. Time in seconds. So you can include that as well. So para hindi sila mahirapan, meters per second per second. Next is I have V0. So that is my initial velocity. Initial velocity together with, what else? Alpha. Alpha is the angle of projection. And then finally, initial height. So y0, initial height. Okay? So, yan yung input na kailangan. Okay. Also, dito ko na rin ilagay siguro sa taas, output. So, ano ba ang ipinoproduce nitong function na to? So, output is y. And that is the position of the trajectory in the y-axis. Okay, so if I try to save that, so suppress ko muna yung y. Okay, save that. And then if I try to type help script demo, so it shows what we have just typed on the percentage. So it's a pretty neat thing to do. So maybe pwede kong i-aba-abante yan para, so by just pressing tab, so tab tayo. Okay. Para medyo maganda tignan. Oops. And then, medyo ipantay natin yung mga equals. Yan. Another one. Yan. Para medyo may formality tayo. Ayun. Save. And then, if I try to type again, script demo, ayun. Mas maganda tingnan yung ating syntax. Ano? So, pwede ko rin lagyan ng syntax dun sa taas. So, like so. So, say for example, I want to input syntax. So, syntax, and then, say, script demo, and then, G, T, V0. By the way, the positioning of your variables inside our function is sensitive. So, meaning, hindi naman pala siya sensitive. So, regardless of whether you put it. Okay, so alpha. But in the meantime, let us try to religiously follow the arrangement. So, meaning, pag naglagay ako ng 1 dito sa ating script demo, it represents gravity. Okay? So, T represents time and so on. Okay? So, ayan. So, pwede ko nang gawin yan. And then, save. So, and then, let's try to execute again in the command window. By the way, sa Octave, you have to deal with one window. So, bago natin i-try, i-execute, we have to go back to our function. And then, type lang tayo ng end function. Something like that. Sa Matlab, as you can see, yung end function is hindi niya nababasa. Kasi sa atin sa Matlab is end lang. Pero for Octave, it's end function. Okay, so going back, execute tayo ng help script demo. And here is the display, yung help display niya. So, ayun. So, going back here, so meron na tayong G, T. So, ang mangyayari dito, once we've inserted values for the following, it will now be used in this formula. So, I think it's all complete. So, meron na tayong G, meron tayong T, and meron tayong V0, and then meron tayong alpha, and then Y of 0. So, now I can now execute this in my command window. So, let me just type CLC to clear everything up. So, now I'm going to type script demo. And then, what is my gravity? So, say I want 12. And then, as you can see, may lumalabas na parang help command. Yung pasunod-sunod niya. So, after all, it's pasunod-sunod naman pala. Okay, so yung T naman natin, pwede rin tayong maglagay ng parang formula in it. Or ng another function. So, let's say I want to make a lens space. Maybe I could put this into 1.35. So, lens space from 0 to 5. 0 to 5. Yeah. So, that represents my time. That is the value of my time. Comma. So, I want like V0. So, V0 natin 5 meters per second. And then, alpha is 45. Followed by my Y0. Say, I want it at 0. Pwede yan. Okay. And hope for the best. Type enter. And as you can see, the answer is stored in Y. Or in answer. Kasi tinawag na natin yung function. So, since meron tayong output variable, it is now being stored in answer. Okay? But in the function, it is stored as Y. But in the command window, it is stored as answer under our workspace. Okay? So, there you have it. So pwede naman siguro natin lagyan ng plot. Why not? Sige, lagyan natin ng plot. So, after all, wala pala tayong X. Okay? So, paano kaya ito? Pwede rin naman natin gawin as Y as a function of time. So, pwede natin lagyan ng plot Y, T. Pwede ba? No. T, Y. Pwede ganon. Okay, so let me clear this up and then save. And then let me try to recall again script demo using the same values that we initiated kanina. It's taking long. May plinut ba siya? Ayun, merong plinut. Okay, so you can try it too. And this removes the hassle of declaring multiple lines from time to time. Instead, you just type it on a single line, yung values natin and all, and it works just fine. So maybe I could call the same line that I did and then put it on an initial height of say 2 meters. But this time I am in Earth, so 9.8. Pwede yon. Pwede kong palitan, gawin nating 30 degrees. Okay, and then enter. And then it shows a different graph. Right? So as you can see, yung time natin is, or yung y natin rather is nasa around, ano na siya, around 120. So it's in the depths. Okay, so maybe it's somewhere around here in this line na nagland siya. Anyway, that can still be worked out. Pwede pa nating maayos yun. Any questions, guys? So that is how functions work. If the function, so if yung laman ng function natin is pretty much fixed, meaning wala tayong nilagay na output variable and then wala rin tayong nilagay na arguments, that can be considered as a script. And then pag we are now introducing an output variable together with arguments, that is now considered as a function. Okay, so always remember that whenever we are trying to make a function of our own, declare or at least maglagay tayo ng comments. Although this is optional, pero it is a very nice thing to do. Okay, we add this comments or help comments. Then finally, declare the formula. Okay. So sige, hanap tayo ng another example. So gawa tayo ng another example. Okay. Yung wala dito sa module, but this will just reinforce your readings. Okay. Okay, so maybe we could try Okay, maybe we could try yung quadratic equation or yung quadratic formula. Okay? So let's try the quadratic formula. Okay, let me clear this up. Clear. And then let me create a new function. So sa Octave, pwedeng pagka-end function nyo, create lang kayo ng extra space, enter, and then enter ulit, then type na lang kayo ng function. Okay, so function. So I want function as roots. So roots equals. So ano kaya magandang tawagin dito? Maybe I could call this quadroots or root squad. Pwede rin. So roots quadratic. Okay? And then what are the variables that we need? We need A, B, and C. Diba? Yun yung standard form ng ating quadratic equation. Ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Okay, and yung A, B, and C yung kailangan nating mahanap in order to identify the values for that equation, yung roots. Okay, so maybe we could add some comments. So this is the roots of a quadratic equation. Like so. Okay, roots of the quadratic equation, and then type natin syntax. Syntax is so lagyan natin ng percent yan ha. Syntax is root squad. Root squad is A, B, and C. Okay, and then ang output is let me just verify this if tama ba to dun sa dati kong code. Yeah. So, kailangan ko pala na dalawa yung variable dito. So, pwede kong gawing root 1, comma, root 2. O, bakit dalawang variable? Pwede yan. Pwede pala yan, by the way. Ang nangyari kasi is, whenever we are solving for quadratic equation, it produces two results. One for the plus and then one for the minus. Kasi yung standard form natin is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So, dalawa yung possibility na output dyan. So, ang output natin dyan is root 1. That is the positive root or the first root at minus discriminant or plus discriminant na lang. Para at least meron tayong indication na that is yung plus discriminant. So, negative b plus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. Root 2 is the second root. Tanggalin na natin yung first. That is the root at minus discriminant. Okay? So, input natin is input natin is ax squared. So, lagay na muna natin yung general form. Plus bx plus c equals 0. So, medyo lagyan natin ng konting hanash. So, standard form of a quadratic equation. So, next is, ayan, okay na yan. I think that is pretty straightforward. Okay, so now I can proceed now to the formula itself. So, I'll just simply root 1 is equal to the plus discriminant. Okay, so, negative b plus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c. Tama ba? Am I doing it right? All over 2a. So in here, we are not yet particular if the entry is a matrix. So we are only dealing here with scalar. Okay, root 1. And then root 2. Root 2, we have the same, but minus. Minus in here. Hope this works. Okay. So, maybe we could rename this. Nare-rename ba to? So, save. And then, I type root squad. Okay, so go to documents. Then, Matlab. So, root squad. Save. And then, now I'm going to try first yung help. So, root squad. Okay, so lumabas yung help niya. So, the roots of a quadratic equation, yung syntax displayed as such. Okay, now let's try yung root squad. Yung root squad na syntax. So root squad. So I type in 8. So maybe I could try yung ating maybe I could try something here. So 2, 3, and 7. So 2x squared plus 3x plus 7. Pwede natin itry yan. So 2, 3, and 7. And then enter. Oh, too many input arguments. What is this? Oh, I see. So too many input arguments. I think that is in the variable. Oh! Alam ko na. Mali yung pakakaset ko dun sa left side. Yeah, mali yung pakakaset ko sa left side. Okay. Okay, mali nga yung pakaka-ano ko sa left side. So, I have to balik tayo dun sa root squad. So, I have to declare this inside a bracket. So, that's what I forgot. Kalimutan ko. Okay, so now let's try to declare it again. Root squad. Ayun. So, lumabas siya. Okay, so the answer is 2. Okay, so negative 3 plus or minus 0.857i and then yung negative 3. Dalawa yung lumabas na answer. Tama ba? This is a complex double. Right. So, yeah. Tama. Medyo misleading lang tong answer na nandito sa dulo. Okay, but I guess yung dinidisplay niya is yung root na positive. Yung root 1 which is yung at plus discriminant. Okay, so ayun. Any questions, guys? Maliwanag ba? Maliwanag? Okay, I think maliwanag naman. So maybe we can now proceed to let's tweak things up a little bit. Okay. Sige, improve natin ng konti. So you might ask, sir, baka pwede naman sir na parang ano siya, humihingi siya ng parang instructions. Baka pwede naman ganun, sir. Sabihin natin ako mag-execute ako ng ganitong function. Mag-execute ako ng, or let's say a script. No? Sabihin na natin is pag na-execute yung script na yon, no, maghihingi siya ng values instead na yung itatype ko sa isang syntax. Baka pwedeng ganun. So, fortunately, merong ganong klaseng syntax. So, let's say, in here sa open board. So, ang gusto natin is yung parang i-require natin si Matlab na once na na-execute yung command na yon, instead na nandun sa function, so, say, this is the script. No, instead na nandito sa ating parenthesis yung mga values na i-declare, no, why not type it in here? So type lang natin na script without those parentheses, and then dun sa command window lalabas yung dun sa command window siya hihingi ng values. Okay, so like say for example in the Pythagorean Theorem, so sabihin natin yun yung function. And if I type Pythagorean or Pythagorean, no, instead na ilalagay ko yung values dun sa aking parentheses, I just type in Pythagorean and then magtatanong siya what is the value for A? What is your value for B? And then saka siya mag-answer dito sa C. O, pwedeng ganon. So now, we now introduce what we call as input. Input and output. Input and output commands. Okay, input and output. Okay, so here in Matlab, we have two. So yung for input, we have yung command natin na input. Okay, the syntax in the module are very straightforward, pero i-demo ko yan sa inyo today. And then for output, we have two types. We have yung fprintf, and then we have yung disp, disp. Okay, so for the sake of time, para hindi masyadong magastos sa time, so I will be demonstrating to you yung disp kasi I'm not really a fan of fprintf, lalo na pag pero this is pretty this is very handy when it comes to displaying vector values. So if you want to check them out in the module, you can try them out. But this time, since we're only dealing with scalar, disp is a very straightforward command to use. Okay, so what exactly is input? Input, so ang syntax niya is input, and then nandito yung iyong message. So MSG, message, and then you have to store a value in it. So meaning, yung input, sabihin natin enter your value here. So nandito yung nandyan sa loob. Enter your value here. Yan yung string mo. Yan yung message na nasa loob ng input. Enter your value here. Okay? So yan, pag in-execute mo yan, or pag in-execute na yun ni script, ang lalabas is enter your value here. You type something, and then when you press enter, it is now stored in X. So pwedeng ganun. Okay, and notice that this is sensitive to the sensitive to where the line is. Okay, so let me repeat that. It is sensitive to where the line is located. So say for example, hello? Naririnig pa ako?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sige. Akala ko hindi na ako naririnig. Okay. So, going back here. So, say for instance, yung itong X na to is at line 12. It will be executed first. It will be prioritized compared to yung nasa 12-14 na the same. So, it is sensitive to the order. So, very straightforward yung input. Yung disp naman natin is a standalone. So, wala kang i-store na variable dito. You just display something that you write inside it. So, we have disp. Disp is equal to, or disp, open parenthesis, message. That's all. That's all there is. Disp message. Okay? So, I think pwede ata tong disp, and then instead na message, pwede akong maglagay ng X. Ganun, pwede yan. Pwede rin disp, and then sa loob niyan, may nakalagay na your answer is, tapos, hindi na nakikita dyan. Nandyan pala yung mukha ko. Okay, so here, sulat ko na lang dito. Here. Okay, so ang nakalagay dyan is disp, and then ang nakalagay is your X is may colon, then another space, and then pwede ka maglagay dyan ng variable X. Pwede yan. No? I think lalagyan pa ata to ng comma. Or I think this should be enclosed in a matrix. Like so. Pwedeng ganyan. No? By the way, sa matrix natin, pwede tayong mag-store ng string. Just separate them with a space. No? Like so. Your x is space, then yung x. Okay, so that being said, we can now use this two, yung input and disp, no, together in order to make a function that asks for user-defined entry. Okay, so, pwede natin gawin yan. And one simple way to do that is to have an example, and that is the Pythagorean Theorem. Okay, so Pythagorean Theorem tayo. Okay, so sa Pythagorean Theorem, okay, ang goal lang natin is to find the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse of a right triangle. Yun yung exception natin. Ano? We are not working with the cosine and the sine law here. Yung hinahanap lang natin is yung hypotenuse ng ating right triangle. Okay? So, in here, so what are the variables that we need? So, we need, for this to work, we need A and B. So, we need A and we need B. Okay? So, the result is C. Okay? So, the commands that we're going to use, we have input, disp, and then yung function. Okay? So, we will name this, yung function name natin is, function name, maybe I could name this not Pythagorean but hypotenuse. Hypotenuse, and the output variable. The output variable is C. Okay, so yan. Given this, we can now go to our Matlab and perform this. So yung mga naka-octave dyan, I encourage you to do this as well. Okay, so siguro bago ko to gawin, I'll give you 5 minutes to think about how are you going to do this. And then after 5 minutes, I will give my answer as well. Hindi, walang sapilitan. Kung gusto niyo i-try bago ko ibigay yung answer. So, you try it. Okay? So, I'll be right back. So, consider this as a break as well. So, after 5 minutes, hintayin ko yung inyong output.